Let us begin by reading the word problem out loud. A collector of vintage Major League Baseball cards has 72 cards in his collection and buys 6 cards each month. If he has a list of 180 players whose cards he wants to collect, how many months will it take him to complete his collection? Let us begin our strategy for problem solving by analyzing the problem. The first thing we want to identify when analyzing the problem is the question that's being asked. In this case, the question is, how many months will it take him to complete his collection? So now that we know what it is we're asked to find, we now know as well what our unknown variable is going to represent. So let us go ahead and jump to step 2 and assign a variable. In this case, we'll go ahead and use the letter x. Again, any variable will do. But for our case, we'll use x, and it's going to represent the following. So x will equal the number of months it will take the collector to complete his collection. Again, our assignment of the variable, it's simply the question reworded in the form of a statement. So now that we've done step 2, let us go ahead and go back to analyzing the problem. So let's see. We know a collector of vintage Major League Baseball cards has 72 cards in his collection. So currently, he has 72 cards already in his collection. And we also know that he buys 6 cards each month. So 2 key things. He already has 72 cards. And we also know that each month he buys 6 cards. So now let us continue analyzing the problem. If he has a list of 180 players whose cards he wants to collect, so we know that he has a list of 180 players whose cards he wants to collect. So that's his goal. He has a goal of 180 players' cards. So it seems like we have all the information that we need. So now let us go ahead and form our equation. Now, our equation is going to have the following structure. It's going to be card goal is equal to cards already in collection plus cards remaining to collect. So now let's go ahead and start filling in what we already know. I'll start off by bringing down the equal sign. So the card goal, well, we know he wants to collect a total of 180 players' cards. So the card goal is 180. And the cards already in his collection, well, that was also given to us. We know that to be equal to 72. And we want to add to that the cards remaining to collect. So the cards remaining to collect, this is a specific quantity. And we already have an equation for quantity. I'll go ahead and write it up at the top. So that'll be quantity is equal to rate times time. Luckily for us, we already know these both. We know the rate, well, that was given to us in blue. And we know that he buys 6 cards each month. So the rate is 6 cards each month. So we'll just go ahead and write down 6. And we want to multiply that by the time. The time, that's actually what we're looking for. And that's represented by a variable, x. So this is the cards that are remaining to collect. So we're going to go ahead and fill that into our equation. So 6x. So there we go. That's our equation that we're going to be using. So now let us go ahead and solve the equation. I'll start off by bringing it down first. Okay, good. So now what we want to do is we want to get the x variable completely by itself. Right now, we're multiplying it by 6, and then we're also adding 72 to it. So what we want to do is we always want to eliminate addition and subtraction first. So let us go ahead and do so. The only way to eliminate addition of 72 is by subtracting both sides by 72. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. 180 minus 72 is equal to 72 plus 6x minus 72. So now on the right hand side, the positive 72 simplifies out with a negative 72, leaving us with 6x. And then on the left-hand side, 180 minus 72, that's going to leave us with 108. So let me go ahead and write that down. And then again, we want to get the variable x completely by itself. Right now we're multiplying it by 6. The only way to eliminate multiplication is through division, so we're going to go ahead and divide both sides out, and by 6, which is the number that we want to eliminate. So the positive 6 in the numerator and the positive 6 as well in the denominator simplify out, leaving us with 1x, or simply x. And on the left-hand side, we end up with 108 divided by 6. Once you carry out the division, you find out that that is equal to 18. So there we go. We have solved for x, and we now know that x is equal to 18. So let us go ahead and state our conclusion clearly. The question was, how many months will it take him to complete his collection? So our response to that is going to be the following. It will take the collector 18 months to complete his baseball card collection. Again, our conclusion is simply the question reworded in the form of a statement. So now that we have stated our conclusion, let us go ahead and check our result. I'll start off by writing down the original equation found in step 3. So 180 is equal to 72 plus 6x. However, we know the numerical value of x. We know x to be equal to 18, so we're going to go ahead and substitute that in for x. And therefore, we'll bring down the 180 down, bring down the 72 as well. And then 6 times 18 is 108. So on the left-hand side, we bring down the 180 one more time. And on the right-hand side, 72 plus 108 is also equal to 180. So this verifies that our solution is indeed correct.